Hello everyone, welcome to Tea and Banter with me. It's me, Mary Elizabeth, and it is BB time. Sorry it's a little late. Someone took a little longer to read their book, you know. But
I don't know why we're outing
this should be an interesting book review. And I'm going to start by saying that this is the thing about BookTube or any kind of book review. I've talked about this before, that it really is a personal opinion and a personal preference. And so what's nice about this is you're going to get similar and maybe not so similar thoughts on the book for the month. And I'm just going to remind you, the book of the month was Magpie Murders. I'm doing it like this only because I took the dust jacket off. I like to do that when I'm reading the book. And actually, question, I don't know how anybody else feels. How do people feel about the dust jackets? I'm not a big fan. I have to say, I would rather have the design on the book itself. But that's just an aside, and that's just me. So, like I said, some opinions going on, some conversations. Now, as a rule, Felicia and I do not talk about the book we're reading at all, so that it's authentic. When we get to you, you're hearing it just as we're hearing it for the first time. But that did not happen this time. I'm doing full disclosure.
I may have had a little upsetness.
As a parent, you might understand this. There are times when you look at your child and you're having a conversation, and it doesn't matter how old they are. Oh my God, she spit up her tea. But you look at your child and you go, really? Really? Like, I don't understand how you don't understand. That was the kind of week I've had with a certain someone reading Magpie Murders. So I'm going to start by giving you just the first part of our conversation, because I'm not going to go into great details because we'd be here forever. But this will kind of give you a little insight to the conversations we've had this week. Now, with that said, I have not shared my opinion at all about the book, so she has no idea whether I like it or not. The book is a book within a book. Now, the way it reads as it starts, let me see if I can just... So it talks about how this character is, getting comfortable. She's getting her pajamas. She's getting a glass of wine, whatever. And she is going to start reading a book called Atticus Pund Investigates, I believe, is the title of this book. Or it might be a continuation with a different name, but it's that detective, and he's kind of like a Poirot or Sherlock Holmes or something like that. But the ending of that first description says that what I was expecting when I began. Okay, but Magpie Murders wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. I hope I don't need to spell out anymore. Unlike me, you have been warned. Someone, and I left details out because I don't know what you would consider spoilers and what you wouldn't. So, plus that, you don't want to hear the whole thing. Someone decided to skip that whole piece. Just kind of skim it.
I didn't skip it.
Kind of skim it because she thought it was just the author's acknowledgments or whatever in the beginning.
Talking about the author and how he wrote it, and I just wanted to dive in. I want the mystery.
You just wanted to dive in.
Yeah, because I thought, okay, well, it's about this Atticus Pund, which that was great.
And then and this is the kicker. This is what sent me over the edge. I said to her, she goes, now I got to read about the author? She goes, why do I want to read about him? I know he wrote this book. I said, you need to look at the name.
I can just Google him.
Yes, I can just Google him. I said, okay, read the name of this.
And I was like, wait, that's not the author. Doesn't make sense.
So someone had some confusion. And
Yeah.
I think it all began at the beginning by skimming.
That might have been what happened.
And then got even more confused as she went along. So there were several times that I said, people do DNF books. If you really don't like it, it's okay. That's what you share. If you don't like it, and you can explain why, whatever. But
no, I think I wasn't thrilled with the back and forth, but now that I know where I made a mistake, I might eventually reread it and give it a second chance. Down the line.
so after she rests
From
on
being
this,
pumped over this book.
yes. So anyway, so that's been my kind of week with her with this book.
That my whole week has been like, I don't care about that. I mean, God forbid, I'm sorry what happened, but I need to know what happened throughout the other.
Yes. So
Because I didn't get an answer.
the murder of the person in the book, the author that gets murdered, she doesn't care about it. She cares about the murder of the book he was. I'm just like, I don't understand, but okay.
But,
So
in my mistake, thinking it was the author, I was like, I can Google that. I can look that up. I have no problem doing that.
but
I'm not saying I don't care. May he rest in peace, whatever. But it wasn't even that. I made a boo-boo. But I care about the mystery.
it could have had
kind
more
of it.
information even if it was about the real author that you might not have.
Truthfully, I didn't get how it coincided at all.
What do you mean? Even now?
Yeah. Like it didn't. That had nothing to do with anything.
Okay, so I would have to explain that off camera because
Okay.
that would be giving spoilers.
All
and
right.
here's what I'm gonna
Sorry.
say. I don't know how you don't know how it doesn't tie in. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
It makes sense.
No, it does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't. Holy Toledo, Batman! It does not.
OMG is all I'm gonna say. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna let Felicia go first. Did you take notes? Where's your notes?
Oh crap! I know I forgot something. I rated it.
So hold on. Do you want to go get your
No,
notes?
I'm good. I rated it 3 stars.
Okay.
I was really a fan of Atticus Pun
Okay. Why?
because he was
Like,
the-
what kind of notes? Do you remember any of your
I
notes
thought he
that
was
you-
a brilliant detective. He reminded me a lot of Poirot
Okay.
and his quirks, and I loved it. And I was so engrossed in that part of the story, and then it went to that.
That.
And I had to go through that whole of that to get to where I need to be.
Do you have anything else to say? Anything before I go? Because I got a lot, so.
Now that I realize my boo-boo, now after I take a rest from it, I will give it a reread and try it again. Maybe I'll rate it higher. But now that I know.
You don't have to rate it higher. And you don't
But-
have to like a book because I like a book
No,
or someone
that's
else
not
likes
what I'm
a
saying.
book.
But now that I know I made a mistake, it was an error. Because once I took the Jess jacket off, I didn't pay attention to that. So I just
to the
assumed,
real author's name?
I thought the real author is what they were talking about in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I made a boo-boo. The mistakes were made. So, on this one.
I was laughing so hard. Tears were coming down my face.
I know, and I didn't understand why you were laughing.
Oh my God, I was laughing.
I was like, I can always Google him.
I was like, oh my God.
I really don't need to know right now in the book.
Yeah.
I can always Google the man.
All right. So since you didn't bring your notes or whatever, I made sure I brought my notes. Let us begin. Because I also tabbed.
See, I'm afraid to tab.
And tabbing. No.
Because with my luck, I'd rip the book.
No, I mean,
it's
I
sticky.
don't. No, you don't rip it. You know what I mean?
And
but
how
if
do you
you
get it off?
well, just like this,
Oh.
you just go easy. But I tabbed basically from myself. If there's anything that applies, I will
Do that.
do that. Oh, I know why I tabbed this, so I'll leave that out. So let me, I should have had this open, I guess. Oh, and we got to do something at the end too. Okay. All right. 5 stars. If I could have given it 20, I would have gave it 20. One of the best books I have read ever. Right up there. Poirot, Sherlock, has it all. From the first, after you read about what the publisher's doing, that little bit you don't skip.
I didn't skip it.
I read it. Might as well have.
I read.
And you start the story, the characters, their possible motives, their secrets, all small town. It was amazing. And I tabbed a page right here because just before I got to this page, I was going, wait, I was putting the book down going, wait, I gotta go. You know how there's some YouTubers, look, chicken. You know how there's some YouTubers that want to solve Poirot or Miss Marple and they start doing the paper and connecting and putting up all the...
Yeah.
I was starting to want to do this with this. And then I turned the page and the publisher started doing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're on the same page. We're going the same way. So yeah, I loved it. I loved how the mystery, the characters interconnected in some way, shape, or form, whether they were relatives, whether they worked for, other people like the victim worked for them, or were married to them, or were related to them, or had bad business dealing, whatever the case may be. There was always some kind of connection so that the characters could have all been the murderer, and they all had a secret of some sort. So trying to guess what the secret was, because you didn't get told what their secret was.
No, not right away, no.
No. So, and of course, the murder victim wasn't a very nice person, and did do a lot of things to a lot of people. So, that's kind of a thing. And then there is a book within a book. So on top of that murder mystery, there is another whole murder mystery that then goes on. Fabulous. The same kind of concept. The characters, relatives. He wasn't a nice person. He did people wrong. So, people he worked with, family members, partners, a multitude of people, small town again, all with secrets of their own. And and then to top it off, you had actually a double whammy that I love. So you got your one mystery going on, who has your great detective, Atticus Pund, like a Poirot. And then, like a lot of cozy mysteries that I do love to read, you have your amateur sleuth, who is trying to solve a murder, which was the publisher. or the editor. She might have been the editor. And that was wonderful. So you kind of got two separate experiences, and you're trying to solve both crimes, and you do know that they are interconnected in some way. And then
Sure.
I started to guess what that was, but then it didn't make sense to me because I was like, no, because either way it didn't go. Then when the end was revealed, I was like, oh my God. Amazing. The other thing that I tabbed was there's a explanation. I should have wrote down what color I tabbed it. Where he writes, he writes about being basically the amateur sleuth, and as the amateur sleuth, I wish I could. Let's see, is this it? So I'll just read this a little bit. In just about every other book I can think of, we're chasing on the heels of our heroes, the spies, the soldiers, the romantics, the adventurers, but we stand shoulder to shoulder with the detective from the very start of the book. And I couldn't have said that better. From the very start, we have the same aim, and it's actually a simple one. We want to know what really happened. And neither of us are in it for the money, obviously. Read the Sherlock Holmes short stories. He's hardly ever paid, and although he's clearly well off, I'm not even sure he presents bills for services. And you know what? I never thought of that.
No, it wasn't about that for him.
But I'm just saying, I never thought of that Smith submitted for bills, for payment or whatever. I never thought of it. But I do know he wasn't in it for the money, and and that's sort of how you feel as the partner in the story. You feel like you're side by side with them, and you're not in it for the money, but you're in it for the truth and finding out the truth. And that's one of the things I love about mysteries, is trying to solve it as well as getting to that truth. The author, although I did not solve it right away, when it came to it beginning to be solved, I was able to go, oh, that definitely was a clue. Why didn't I pick up on that? So he did do the necessary clues, but the thing about Anthony Horowitz is, although he gives you the clues, he gives you distractions so that you're so interested in what's happening that the clue doesn't click right away, which is good because that's what you want, I guess. You don't want to solve it before you even finish reading the book. So what else did I put?
I don't know.
I did like that the book, as a character was introduced, he kind of wrote introductions, so you kind of got who they were, if they were married,
what they did,
revealing a secret even though not revealing the secret. So in other words, revealing that there was a secret.
Yes.
So for example, one of the people come in and saw something on someone's desk that they shouldn't have seen. Mm-hmm. But you don't know what it is, those kinds of things. And then it moves on to something else, so you kind of forget about it. And Detective Pund makes a statement, and it's on page 151. He says he knows who the killer is of one of the victims. And it made me want to go back again to try to figure it out. But when it does come to light, it's like, okay, again, it was there. So, did I have anything else? No, I was just excited. I was into the characters. I was into the trying to solve it myself. I really actually wanted to get paper, put it up, and start doing that, but I couldn't do that because Felicia was reading it, and I couldn't ruin that experience for her if I was, going about but anyway, and also trying to meet the deadline with you guys. So, anyway, we didn't meet the deadline. We're a little late, and it's okay. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So that's all I have. I am giving this a 5-star. I will be reading more of his books, and this will be staying on my bookshelf because, as I stated before, I am only keeping books in my library that I will reread. And this is a book I will reread and come back to. And hopefully, the next time I read it, I'll hopefully find more clues that I missed the first time as to even though I know who the killers are, but what I might have missed for additional clues that were there. So, overall, 5-star. Love the author. Will read more. Books staying in my library.
I rated it 3 stars. However, I am going to give it a reread just because of my boo-boo. Mistakes were made. I'll give it another go and see. And if I still feel the same, then I'll probably donate it. It could be somebody else's story.
Yep, absolutely.
But his other books sound good.
Yes. Yep.
In here, the Moriarty and the
House of Silk.
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds really, really good.
Yes. And, again, I want to reiterate by saying
but it sounds good.
Yeah, that not every author is for everybody, and not every book is for everybody. And I kind of like this because this clearly tells you 2 different opinions, as well as it really doesn't matter my opinion, and it really doesn't matter her opinion. It matters your own opinion. The thing about it is you get to hear both sides and decide for yourself whether it's even a book you want to pursue. And that is the nice thing about reviews of books and BookTube. It just gives you a little information in order for you to make your own decision. And in the end, you might not love it and you might not hate it. You might be in the middle between the two of us. No right or wrong, right, guys? So.
And I'll be honest, if he just stuck with it as an Atticus pun, I probably would have loved this book. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I absolutely loved that guy. Thought he was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome
I don't disagree
detective.
with that, but I loved both.
But
and
then, I know that, but again, I made a boo-boo, so I probably will once I reread it. Now that I know what I know.
Yeah. No.
But down the line, yes, I will reread this.
It's fine.
And give it another go and see from there. Now that I know what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's 3 stars.
Yep. And that's fine. That's good. Okay, so before the routine this year, she needs to open the next book.
Yes.
However,
Uh-oh.
And this is going to be different. So the last time, where did I put it? Because
What are we doing now? I forget.
Did I put it back here? I know it's in here. But... we did here it is. Okay, the best book. So out of the first quarter, the best book, we both picked the same. It was Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. I think it's time again, right?
Is it?
So let's see. I think so. Jane Steele, Poppy Harmon investigates the Mansfield Park murder. Then The Girl's Guide to Murder. The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. Mm-hmm. And Magpie Murders. So, this is another reason why you have to have your book.
I know, you normally don't forget it, but I did forget
Okay,
today.
so we both picked Jane Steele.
Last time.
Yes, I'm gonna write on mine, but you're gonna have to go back in and write in yours.
Yes, but I can let you know, right?
What's today's date?
Today is the 7th?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, and then we're gonna do another step. It's gonna
It's
make it
July.
harder. What did I do? I did June. I want to stay in June. Okay, so for me, it's an easy no-brainer. It's Magpie Murders. I know, and that's okay.
Mine's Girl's Guide to Murder.
And see, I didn't care for that one.
I loved
So,
it.
yeah, see? So it's okay. Okay, now I believe how it works yep. So out of the two, you got to pick your top one.
Girl's Guide to Murder.
Okay, so you need to remember that.
Yep.
Mine's Magpie Murders. So going forward, Magpie Murders.
This is for you.
Yep. Okay, so Magpie Murders right now for me is moving on to possible top book of the year. But we have 6 more books. Yeah.
Well, I'm opening July's. 5 more.
5 more
July.
books.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll each have the number 1 book of the year. Could be the same, could be different. Who
Yeah.
knows? Okay, so
It's gonna be
Magpie
tough.
Murders for me.
Girl's Guide to Murder for me.
All right, and then so now we get to open the next BB&B book.
Which I have no idea what it is.
I do.
It says Keys, Typewriter, Murder, Mystery. Keys on a typewriter. Must be on the idea of Murder, She Wrote, maybe? Should I open it now? or
Yes.
wait? Okay. Murder at Mallowayne Hall, Colleen, Cambridge. A
Ooh.
Philadelphia Bright Mystery.
Title: Murder.
Philadelphia Bright Mystery. Ooh.
Murder at what?
Mallowayne Hall. Ooh, this sounds good.
WAN. Yeah. W. Yeah, WAN.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read the back?
It's
But-
it's in the thing that's not on the back.
It's not on the back.
No. It just gives reviews.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let's see.
I don't know if you should read the whole thing.
Oh, so don't
That's
read
awful
it?
long. I would. Can I just see?
Do you want to do it then? Because I don't know. I'd read the whole thing.
Okay, so it's 1930. It's a housekeeper. Okay, so you ready? The manor is home to archaeologist Max Mallowan and his famous wife Agatha Christie.
That's awesome.
Philadia is both loyal to and protective of the crime writer, who is a friend and an employer. Both accustomed to murder and the methods. Let's see. Fidelia is unprepared for the sight of a very real, very dead body on the library floor.
Like the body in the library.
So I did not read everything because I really tried hard to not have spoilers or too much information. But this is the book that we are doing for our next BB&B. So please join us. If you have read this book, please don't put any spoilers in the comments, but you can let us know whether you liked it or not. And then until next time, I hope that you are all safe and I hope you are all loved. Bye.